Welcome to All for One, your go-to series for all things vacation rentals. I'm Katie Bien.
And I'm Christy Conway, and together we have a combined 25 years of experience in the vacation rental industry. Join us weekly for short episodes packed with tips on growing your company and keeping up with today's trends.
Thanks for tuning in to All for One, because when it comes to success in this industry, we're all in it to win it together. Thank you, everyone, for joining us again for another episode of All for One. Today, we are so lucky to have the amazing Shannon Corliss here to join us. With nearly 2 decades of marketing experience across various industries, Shannon has spent the last 2 years specializing in the vacation rental market. Shannon has helped over 250 vacation rental managers devise yearly marketing strategies to grow their inventory. Shannon, thank you so much for being here. We're so lucky to have you.
Thanks for having me, guys. I'm nervous and excited.
So are we. So you're in good company. So cool. Well, thanks for being here, Shannon. Your background is super duper impressive. So we're so excited to pick your brain. So, of course, the big question right out of the gate, what is strategy and why is it important?
Well, that is a great question. So, what is strategy? In short, a marketing strategy is just a comprehensive plan to persuade customers to purchase a product or service that your company offers, right? Super simple. There are a lot of different marketing channels that can accomplish this, and your strategy is going to be dependent on your goals, your audience, and your total addressable market. And that's otherwise known as your TAM. Why is it important? Well, 2 words: business growth. Everybody wants to grow their business, right? Especially vacation rental managers, they're going to typically have marketing strategy on the guest side and the homeowner side. Okay. But it would be very, very, very beneficial for them to to actually grow their inventory on that homeowner side as well. So it's often forgotten about.
Yeah, I think it's important for owners to know that you need 2 different strategies. One is going to be for that guest side, and then one is to grow your market. So that's awesome. Thanks, Shannon.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, as you're working with people to help them develop that marketing strategy, what do they need to know about themselves, and I would imagine even their competition, right? To help give you the information to help them develop that strategy.
Yeah, so they need to know a lot about themselves and their business goals. But let's break it down. Let's keep it really, really simple. Okay, so what do you need to know about your business? You need to know the who, your target market. Okay, who is your target market? And as far as your, like, if we're speaking about like homeowner strategy, who's your ideal homeowner? Who are they? What are their pain points? And that's going to be a huge one. You got to understand like what's ailing them. Okay, and how can you help? And that brings me into the what. Okay, so what are your offers? What do you offer this target audience? How is that different than your competition? How are you solving their pain points? That's really what they're going to want to know. And that brings me into the how. Okay, which marketing channels are you going to use? What's best to reach them? Get yourself in front of them. That can be a little tricky. That's where you'd probably want to hire a professional, but to understand that customer journey and how your target audience finds your business. I'm almost done. Cost. How much is this going to cost? You need to know what your budget is. Well, how much money are you willing to put against this? Okay. And that's really important. You need to know your goals. They need to be clear and defined and realistic. Okay. Bonus points if you have a good reputation online, and if you have anything that you've done previously that you can take a look at. So as far as what to know about your competition, you need to know their strengths and weaknesses and where you have some opportunities there. You need to know what their USPs are, and how you're different than them, or how you can make yourself different than them. And then you need to know your reputation. Read their testimonials, find some opportunities there.
That's awesome, Shannon, because my next question, of course, is, hey, what are some building blocks? So you probably just gave half of those. But what I pick out most from that is you have to know your market. You can't just go into a market and say, I'm going to start my company here and have no strategy. So that was awesome. So is there any other building blocks or anything else that would make for a good strategy if you know all of these things about your competitors and know things about yourself?
Yeah. So if you're very well versed in your goals and where you are as a business and your value prop and your target audience to actually start doing these marketing efforts, you need a list. Okay. That's going to be real. That's probably the most important thing. You need a list of the people who you want to market to.
Yeah.
A brand guide is really, really helpful too, because then you can be consistent across all the channels that you choose, right? You don't want a different logo on Google My Business and then have it look different on Facebook and have different colors on your website. You need to have some consistency there with the way you look. You also need consistency with your messaging. So that is something that is huge. Risk reversals and compelling offers are huge bonus points. So that a risk reversal is something that removes the risk off of the owner, off of your potential customer, and puts it onto you. So something like no long-term contracts or free to start. A compelling offer that could be used in marketing efforts would be a 90 days free management. Try us out for 90 days for free. We know you'll stay. You have to be pretty confident, right?
I was gonna say there might only be
and then
a percentage.
obviously the biggest thing is staying consistent and being patient.
Yeah.
Yeah. Without a doubt, we see that time and time again, like consistency is key. It's not a one and done thing. Marketing is a long game. And I experienced that with my old company. It just gets better with time. The more you do it, the more you start to see that return. And so I want to go back to something that you had touched on about having a budget, to knowing your budget and having a budget to invest. And there are people who have a brand new company, right, who might have a limited budget versus somebody who has hundreds of properties. And I hate that expression, it takes money to make money, but in some sense it's true, but I also think it takes smart money to, like, you need to be smart about how you spend it and where you're focusing your marketing efforts. So how can somebody do that? How do they go about starting to figure out that budget and what type of cost they're going to need to invest?
Yeah, that's the $1 million question, isn't it? Okay, so this is done a couple different ways. You can take a percentage of your revenue. Now, remember, vacation rental managers have two different marketing strategies. They have a guest side and a homeowner side. You don't want to eat up all your budget on one or the other. You want to do both, right? So your budget's going to also be reliant on how big your market is off, how big you can get, how much you can grow. Okay, so that's your TAM. It's important to know that what you can actually afford. So if you can't afford a specific percentage, you know, you have to be realistic with yourself. Is what can you afford for the long term? Because like you said before, Katie, this is not like I'm going to do one thing and I'm going to drive results. This is a long game. Okay. But here's the deal. Anyone can get started with any budget. Okay, that's like the truth. There are different marketing channels that are more expensive than others, but all of them you can get in front of your target audience. You can use email, you can use direct mail, you can use digital, you can set up your SEO. You can do all of those things and you don't have to have this grandiose budget to start.
So I guess rolling with the TAM, what is a typical CAC recovery goal that someone should look at?
Okay, so CAC recovery. So first let's define CAC. That's going to be customer acquisition cost, right? And then the CAC recovery is going to be the recovery, how long it takes to recover that cost within your business your operating expenses, right? So for homeowner acquisition, a great CAC is under 12 months. Okay, sometimes that sounds a little scary. It's not, because as you grow and as you let that marketing strategy perform, you're going to build up your sales pipeline. And then your brand, and then you're going to be more recognized in your market. So your brand is going to pound down on that CAC recovery and lessen it over time. And that's really the big goal.
Yeah, I think that's a really common question that people ask is like, what do I need to invest in and how soon should I expect to get that back? So that's great. Thank you.
Mhm.
So how often should somebody, let's say they have that marketing strategy, right? They get that first year CAC recovery. How often do they need to go in and reevaluate that marketing plan and make those changes? I would imagine it's something that you need to stay up to date on, right? And I guess two-parter question, like, is it something that most people do themselves, or is it something you need to hire an expert for?
All right. So how often to review your marketing strategy? You guys, you have to have a finger on the pulse on your market all the time. Anything can happen at any time. what I don't recommend changing your marketing strategy if nothing big happened, but if something big happened in your market, say another property manager went out of business, that's when you reevaluate your marketing strategy. You make very quick decisions and you pivot. Okay. But if nothing huge is happening in your market, let the strategy run, right? Let it go, let it start to work. As far as doing it yourself or hiring an expert, listen, would you not hire a plumber if your sink was clogged? Of course you would. Hire the expert. They're going to be able to get it done faster. They already know what to look for. They've already been through the mistakes. Like lean on their expertise to help you get successful quicker.
My kitchen would be flooding right now, and I still wouldn't know what to do. I
Mine
need
too.
more paper towels. So no, that's awesome.
Yeah, I feel like that's one of those things where you don't want to kind of like experiment and make it up as you go, because literally the longer you wait to grow, the more money you're just losing and leaving on the table, right? So absolutely. And then of course, inventory, that's included in it. You do get that marketing strategy. And that's what I love about the way that we help our partners, is that that's such a big part of it, is helping you craft and develop that, because that's such a big part of how it's going to go.
Knowing that you've worked with so many partners, Shannon, tons and tons. So I'm sure there's some, what are the people that are most successful doing? And then I guess with Katie, two-part question, what are the most least successful people doing?
All right. So the most successful have a really good understanding of what's going on in their market. Okay. That is the most important thing. They know their target audience. They know everything that's going on in the market. Nobody can make a move without them knowing about it. Okay. They have a clear customer's journey with consistent branding and consistent messaging. Their unique selling points are on point to solve those market pain points. But the biggest thing is going to be they're staying consistent. They are staying consistent month over month. They wait until that homeowner comes out of that fog. You're in the fog and you get the postcard, you get the email, and then you come out of the fog. And all of a sudden that brand, you see them everywhere. You can't shake them, right? I know it happens to you guys too. You see like a red toaster and all of a sudden red toasters are haunting your dreams. That is what makes people successful, is that they are completely consistent. And as soon as that homeowner sees you, they can't unsee you.
Wow. I feel like we could talk to you for hours on this and just go so deep into this. So I predict in season 2, there's going to be a second parter with you, Shannon. Thank you so much for sharing your insight. Now, can you give us, before we go, just some quick action items that somebody could implement today in their business that's really truly going to move the needle for them? What would you suggest?
Yeah. So first of all, thank you guys so much for having me. This has been so fun. I'd love to come back. You guys, I told you, you're my new favorite celebrities. Okay, so a couple of things that you can do right now is check your reputation online. And if you don't have a good reputation online, start soliciting some people that love you to review you, and have them do it everywhere. Spread the word. Social, Google My Business.
I'm glad you brought up that reputation. There's now Comparent too, which is a great place to go. You can actually pull in all your listings and all your reviews from multiple channels. And that's going to be a source that just keeps growing for homeowners to come check your reputation. So I think it's another good place to make sure that you've got everything up to date there too.
Yeah. And then check that your branding is consistent. Make sure that your customer journey is not broken. Make sure that your logos are similar on LinkedIn and Facebook and Google My Business and your landing pages. These are easy things that you can do literally today. And then something that might take some time, but you should start doing, is get an understanding of who your target audience is. Talk to your salespeople. Talk to your BD rep. Listen to what they have to say. Listen to what they're hearing when people call them. It's huge. It's invaluable, actually. And then, get started however you can, whether send a postcard, send an email, just get started, get the ball rolling.
Oh, I love that. Everybody go do that right now.
Run. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much for being here. We so appreciate having you.
Thank you guys so much. This was so fun.
Well, everyone, check back with us every Friday. We're releasing a new episode. Until then, keep growing, keep succeeding, and until next week, all for one. We'll see y'all later.